Looking for the conversations between me and Natalie on my flip phone. I found this woman here. I found these screenshots here. These are with a woman who is calling herself Missy, and she was working with someone else to supposedly try and help me. Let's see this picture. I used to be an artist. I drew this for Natalie in 2016 and sent it to her in Virginia. We were obviously still friends at that time. Alright, so these are 3 important witnesses. Also, I'm not friends with any of them. And I'll tell you the stories about that real quick. These 3 people here, this one over here is Brett Roloff. In the conversation with him, you get to hear him talking about how I wouldn't go to Virginia, or I wouldn't go to see him in North Carolina because I didn't want to be that close to Natalie or her family after they played victim. And of course, he does remember that. But there's also, I went to his place, so Shannon Alvarado, her situation was very dangerous for me. And I was stuck in downtown Los Angeles. Brandon Ratner got me a ticket to go see Brett Roloff because Brett Roloff was going to help me to turn this stuff in. Unfortunately, he was so strung out on methamphetamines that I actually have a recording on my YouTube where he's digging through his own feces in the toilet to try to find a bag of methamphetamines. Obviously, that was not a safe situation for me. So the next person over is Riley Johnson. So when I said that people were making fake accounts to harass me before Natalie Bollinger was killed, one of those accounts was a Riley Johnson account. And I got a hold of Riley. I was like, dude, you know, what's up? It's like, it wasn't me. I didn't send that. So I actually got to show that to the police who were supposed to be investigating Natalie Bollinger's death. The Riley Johnson account. So hopefully the folks who claim that they have that recording will actually give it to me. That'll help to show through all of this, it didn't matter how honest I was. You guys just chose to hate me. And then people like this, you know, Riley Johnson's a severe alcoholic. All 3 of them are severe alcoholics, matter of fact. So Riley Johnson, after that, he wasn't coming forward. He didn't see the point, didn't see the need. He would only call me when he was drunk and feeling sorry for himself and wanted somebody to listen to him. But when I needed somebody to listen to me, he was literally never there. At all. Like, he's never stopped to listen to me. Ever. And I know it's not going to happen. He and I also aren't friends. He called me from Hawaii while I was trying to work on this stuff, and, you know, he'd been in a bad way and wanted me to call him every day, and we agreed that we were going to do that. I called him every day. He didn't answer his phone. He was posting on YouTube, but couldn't get back to me. This one right here is Desiree Leonard, this woman in the corner. So Desiree, severe alcoholic. I had actually panhandled once to get her diapers, but that's not the best story, I guess. They were diapers for her kids, obviously. So she used to be friends with Natalie's mom. I found this out after Natalie was killed. Natalie's mom was a severe alcoholic too. So Desiree was in a trap house in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I went and rescued her from that trap house. And I actually did so twice. Now, her story doesn't match up. Like, she claimed that this guy came all the way from Wyoming and knocked her out with a taser. I've never seen anybody knocked out with a taser. If you've got any video of someone actually being knocked out by a taser, go ahead and send it to me. I'm sure it's possible, but I've never seen it. I've seen lots of people get tasered. Anyway, so she's got a long history of beating the shit out of men. She just loves beating on men. That's her thing. When I rescued her from the trap house, I was in Sydney, Nebraska. I was having to deal with all this NATALIE BOLLINGER stuff. I had a lot of electronic evidence at the place, and she stole it. She stole it and then told me that it was some guy, that she was stuck, the guy who ran the trap house, right across from the Camilla shelter there in Cheyenne. There's a big hotel of some sort, and then on the same road there is the trap house. So the second time that I rescued her, Christine Lushinger, also known as Christine Buhit, she's a big part of the story too. She's actually dead now. But she did a lot of really messed up stuff because she's a drug addict. Now, that was also during the period of time where I was babysitting for Amy and Andrew Witcher in exchange for Amy and Andrew Witcher's help. So I wasn't there all the time to keep Desiree entertained. And of course, Amy and Andrew Witcher were not keeping their word to help me either. I didn't want to rely on any of these people. They're witnesses. Unfortunately, they all took advantage of me and my situation. None of them reciprocated at all. See, when I said that I would help them, I did help them. I drove all the way from Sydney, Nebraska to Cheyenne, Wyoming twice to get her out of that goddamn trap house. That was after NATALIE was killed. I answered every single call that he ever sent to me. Same thing with him. I listened to all three of them, all of their problems for years, okay? Years. These were my friends for years before NATALIE was killed. These are people that I still love and still care about. See, that's the thing about being in love and loving someone. I don't believe in love. In love is infatuation. In love is lust. That's what in love is. And that disappears. Loving someone is different. Loving someone means that you genuinely care about their safety and their happiness. If you look at the messages between me and NATALIE, you get to see that her happiness was the most important thing. But I needed the abuse to stop. When it came to the point where all three of these people, because of their addictions, were highly abusive to me. I came home to my apartment, not hers. I came home one night. Desiree is stark naked. So I left. She was screaming about something. I don't know what it was, and I don't know what she was on. The cops came. It was Sydney, Nebraska. They said that they could remove her from the house because I was the one that had my name on it. Well, I wasn't going to do that to her. They were wholeheartedly willing to drag her out of my apartment if that was what was necessary. But I told them no. I went and slept in my car. and she was much nicer the next day. She also stole my electronics. Electronics that had a lot of evidence on it that I'd saved up. There was also all of the evidence that was on this, literally this computer here. And Nicole Peralta through Region 1 had helped me to send in my computer because something had happened to the hard drive. And so the only reason that it wasn't taken, the only reason that Desiree didn't steal it is because I didn't have it. It was at HP getting repaired. Unfortunately, although they sent me the original hard drive with it and all the evidence that was on it, they couldn't retrieve any of it. They weren't able to fix it. All they were able to do was give me a new hard drive, and I had to start over from scratch. And that was a few months into it. It was not a good thing. And that was one of those situations where I couldn't afford to go to all of these court dates over and over and over again because cops wanted to prevent me from turning them in. That is what all of these court dates were over. First, they tried to frame me for Natalie Bollinger's murder by pegging me as a violent schizophrenic, a stalker, all sorts of creepy crap like that. And then they wanted to pretend that I assaulted the police. Certainly not the case. But that doesn't matter, does it? Certainly not. But what I'm actually looking for in here, you see there's videos. Everywhere that I went, I made videos. These ones right here, I can tell from the background that those were made while I was in Montana, Gallatin Gateway in specific, which is over by the Bozeman and Belgrade area. Yes, I remember a lot of stuff from these places. That's because I was at these places. I recognize these pictures. I recognize the places that I was at. Hey, here's Jerry Sparks. I'm actually going to play that for you. This is Jerry Sparks right here. This is Lana Engeline. We're in the barn at this point. These pictures are cars and stuff that are designed to be made out of bamboo. They're not important to the story. This is Jerry Sparks. This is the day that we made my YouTube account so that I could speak up. This is the very first video, and we set it to private, I believe. This right here is probably with Natalie Shelley or Danica, one or the other. These are messages between myself and one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers, and obviously they're messaging back to me, and we were typing nice. I was having mental breakdowns from all these people telling me that they're going to help me, and then getting a hold of me to tell me that these Bollingers and their friends and family were threatening to kill them and their friends and family, their children. And I was having a mental breakdown over this. And yes, I was letting these people know. I was trying to turn it in. I was trying to inform people what was going on. But the Bollinger family, they weren't interested in actually helping. They were looking for stuff they could cherry pick to be mean. Oh, here's a engine that I made right here. And yes, I'm into Star Trek and boats. This is the messages between me and Natalie when we were friends. Here she sent me some pictures of her leg. I sent her some pictures that I drew. Here's a picture of me at Brenda Dickinson's house. This is Tim BEESON. Obviously, there's a lot of different stuff in here. These were online. These are the messages between Natalie Bollinger and Tim BEESON. And they show that while she was texting me all that nice stuff about how she was going to put a stop to this and stop all the crazy, she was pretending like I was out to get her. She was also, I messaged her that I had walked over 60 blocks, but I had announced on my Facebook that I had walked over 100 blocks. And when she's messaging with people, she's telling them about me uh, going over 100 blocks. Now, the thing is that she was claiming that she wanted to see me to stop all the crazy. Here's Maddie Boa, more evidence, Sean's voice, Tim BEESON. Like, a lot of these are in multiple files. So this right here, obviously it started making double the stuff as I was sending it. I don't know how to fix that. So there's literally 4 pictures of the same thing. This is a axe that I made, and it's actually pretty cool, but it's a tool. And that's one of the things people wanted to pretend I was threatening people because I was learning to blacksmith. But obviously, let's go all the way back up to the very beginning. We'll pause it for a second. So this is evidence from when I was at Candace Bondurant's. That was right after the assault from Waylon Lolatai, and I'd gotten out of jail, and she was supposedly going to help me, and then the cops harassed her, and this is what it's about. It says, hey, so I'm going to need you to brainstorm on somewhere to go. Cops were sitting outside my house this morning when I took the girls to school, then came to my work. My landlord is pissed. I have 3 days to take you somewhere or pack my shit. I work tomorrow, and the weather is supposed to get shitty here Sunday, so that basically leaves us this afternoon. Do you have any resources outside of Boulder? Obviously, I didn't. I mean, I had a drug dealer just outside of Boulder, at not Nederland. I'll remember it in a moment. But he was a drug dealer. I mean, he was fucked up on drugs, and even though he wanted to help, his addiction prevented him. I'm not trying to hide his name from you. I just can't remember it at the moment. This is from Maddie. I worked on storage a bit, but it's a lot of stuff. You know if you'll be able to leave next week? This is about the trip to go see Natalie. She typed, I can't do anything. My PO isn't okay with it, and I have therapy once a week. I did bring it up to her, but she thinks it's a bad idea. And, of course, that was obviously prior to August 18th. I didn't actually make it there until October. So, obviously, Maddie Boa and I had planned it together, and it wasn't just her. And obviously, this is, like I was saying, I was more than 2 months late getting there when Natalie Bollinger called me up and said that if I'm not already on the road, she was going to end her existence. And then she wrapped her phone around a telephone pole. That's what those pictures of her leg were from. Here's from Tim. Obviously, it isn't actually from 3 hours ago. And I'm trying to be nice to him. I'm letting him know. Let's see. I don't have the whole thing here on this part, so let me see. It says, you threatening me with violence makes it my business because you are a coward and a hypocrite. At least you have balls on the internet. He typed, look, dude, if you really just want me to beat you down, that can be a thing too. I typed, done, are you? LOL, pathetic. Well done. Your word lasted 10 seconds. He typed, "You feel better now? I let you in. Dude, kill yourself." You know, that's the thing, is that this guy wanted to get a hold of me and harass me and threaten me, and then I get treated like he's a delusion. Typing at me stuff like, "Get over her, dude. This shit is pathetic." Like, get over her what? I drove 1,700 miles to get away from Natalie Bollinger. 1,700 miles to get away, and then this guy wanted to harass and threaten me. He just kept it up. Now, I started off nice. But by this time, I'd already gotten call after call after call, 2, 3, 4 in the morning from this dude right here, telling me that he's going to kill my friends and family, telling me that he's going to kill Jerry, who you got to see in that short video, telling me he's going to kill her kids, telling me he's going to kill Jamie and her son. You know how I knew in specific that it was over the Natalie Bollinger case at that point? You know how I knew in specific that it was about, it wasn't even a Natalie Bollinger case at that point. It was still fucking 2016. It wasn't even 2017 yet. It was still 2016, and she was killed in December of 2017. People harassing me over shit I didn't do. Then when Tim wanted to get a hold of me and was telling me that he had seen all of our messages between each other and so on and so forth, it made perfect sense why it is that there's people that I didn't talk about anywhere else, that I only typed their names to Natalie. That very specific name was Zyler. Yeah, although he didn't pronounce it properly. That's the thing, is that these people were busted. I didn't have any help turning it in. I didn't have anybody that cared. Obviously, this guy was trying to push me and bully me into killing myself, threaten me with violence. But you guys pretend that this is a delusion. Mike Boudet and a lot of other places made Tim out to be some super great guy. Now, anybody who actually read all of the messages between Natalie and I is well aware. Things that Tim BEESON was doing. Calling her up while I was in Virginia saying he's going to stick a gun in his face and pull the trigger because she wouldn't take him back. That's the difference between this situation with Tim BEESON and the situation with me. I never dated her. I never kissed her. Never had sex with her. Never none of that. It was about her predators coming after me, not leaving me alone. I wasn't asking her where she was at or telling her that she owed it to me to touch my naughty place. I was asking her to call off the dogs. People like this who wanted to threaten to kill Zyler, threaten to kill Jamie, threaten to kill Amanda, threaten to kill these people by name. Like, dude, just leave a person alone. Can't you just leave a person alone? And of course, when I was having a mental breakdown over this crap, what do? Oh, you need to go to mental health. Why don't you go to mental health? Oh, it's not our job, but we have real police work to do. Oh, you just need to man up. Like, he just wouldn't stop. And here, of course, he's trying to be nice at some points. He's like, mostly about motorcycle parts. That's my life. Motorcycles, music, and smithing. Check your facts before you throw your mouth about. Like, dude, I don't fucking give a fuck about you. Why would I go checking the facts about you? I don't care. I don't care. I just want you to leave me alone. I don't care about checking facts. I don't give a shit about this dude. I'm not stalking this dude and trying to find out everything about his life. I'm not stalking Natalie and trying to find out everything about her life. I'm not asking where she's at or who she's with. Ever. I was asking her to call off the dogs. This shit's unnecessary. I typed to him, if she had been honest at any point, it would be different. If I don't want to go, I say no. I don't shit on someone for no reason, and I try to find out what's up instead of being a dick. But this guy didn't start off being nice. He started off being a dick. He typed, no, at least what I did. If you want to accuse me of being a bad guy, get over her, dude. The shit is pathetic. Well, what did I accuse him of? Like, he got a hold of me to threaten me and threaten my family repeatedly. And then he wanted to get on Facebook and harass me and threaten me even more. Meanwhile, the stuff that I'm accusing him of is literally the stuff that those of you who have read the messages between Natalie and I are well aware. Yeah, he did a lot of really messed up stuff to her. A lot of really messed up stuff. Just the stuff that you guys get to see her accuse him of alone. You'd be begging for him to be in prison and not allowed anywhere near your kids. Meanwhile, she was 14 when he started dating her. He was an adult and she was a 14-year-old girl. 14. Do you know how old 14 is? Yeah. Tim BEESON was messing around with her when she was 14 years old. He's a lot older than her. A lot older. And this is going to go backwards all the way through all of Tim BEESON's stuff. So at least we found the Tim BEESON messages. Like, the thing is, it's obvious that I was afraid. It's obvious that in this, he just wanted someone to be mean to. He also admitted that he did not let Natalie know that he was doing this. Now, I typed here, and her bad assumptions are choices both of you made, because they were harassing me over it, obviously. I know what I've been told. I know right now you are worse than just a hypocrite. He typed, it's not about how you interpret your internet with her stupid. It's how she feels about what you do. Well, how do I feel about what Tim's doing here? I drove 1,700 miles to get away from Natalie and her family because they wanted to pretend that I might hurt them. They weren't threatened at all. Nobody threatened to kill them in Virginia. Nobody assaulted them in Virginia. But this guy and his friends and Maddie's friends thought it was okay to do those things to me. The things that she wanted to pretend and he wanted to pretend are obviously all bullshit. They were never the victims. In all of this, you will literally never see even one messages between Tim BEESON and I where I am threatening his life. Not even one. There isn't even one where I threaten to assault him. Now, how about how I feel about people literally telling me they're going to kill me? How about how I feel about people literally physically assaulting me? How about that? No, this guy doesn't care. Natalie doesn't care. None of them care. Natalie wanted attention. She got her attention. She starts telling fucking stories. Pretty soon they get pretty outlandish, I'm sure. But it got her the attention that she wanted. When I say that, no, Natalie didn't make these people do these things, she chose not to tell them the truth. I'm aware that she wasn't running around telling people that I was a child molester or a rapist. Tim Beeson was. Maddie Boa was. When you say I stalked her to Virginia, you got to see a message already with Maddie Boa in this, showing that we had planned the trip, that she wasn't able to go because she got busted selling meth. That wasn't my fault. And yes, I was 2 months late getting there because of that. I didn't know anybody else who could go. As far as Maddie Boa went, she was a lesbian, so I knew that she was safe. I knew that she wasn't going to try to hit on me. She wasn't going to take, you know, inappropriate measures towards me. She wasn't going to try having sex with me or anything like that. She was somebody safe to go with. And see, this guy right here, he's trying to pretend like he needs to throw hands. He's like, get that through your head. Has nothing to do with me. I'm the thrower of hands and attitudes you cannot. So, obviously, she tells a story to an ex-boyfriend who held her down and screamed in her face and so on and so forth. That's not my fault. Yeah, this guy is violent. Yes, I'm going to take these threats seriously. But not one of my friends cared to even look at this stuff or hear my side, let alone help turn it in. They were too busy giving me advice. Oh, Sean, why don't you let me hook you up with a dating site? A dating site wasn't the issue. Tim Beeson is. Maddie Boa is. Their friends are. This is from before Natalie was killed. And there is so much of it. So much. All he's interested in doing is insulting and being a dick. Like, I'm trying to be an adult about this situation. I had been trying to be an adult about this situation, even through people threatening to kill my niece, threatening to kill my sister. This guy had been stalking my Facebook and knew who my friends and family were. Many of my friends and family that I was speaking about on my YouTube, or sorry, I meant Facebook. I didn't have YouTube at the time. Many of my friends and family that I had been speaking out about on my Facebook, like Jerry. Yeah, well, he didn't realize that me and Jerry were not friends anymore at that point. Jerry and I had stopped being friends while I was in Virginia because she was racist. Well, her son was racist, and they had a lot of really, really horrible things to say. And of course, I didn't agree with them. It happens. Now, through all of this, you get to see we definitely type quite a bit. Like, this guy just bullshits through all of this. He's not tough. He's just a dick. I'm still looking for the messages with, the flip phone messages with Natalie Bollinger and her sister, because those are super important. They show that Natalie and her sister pretty much sent me the same stuff. They typed that they love me a fucking shit ton. This is while I was supposedly stalking them in Virginia. Well, I didn't stalk them in Virginia. And then after Virginia, I didn't stalk them either. After Virginia, I tried to get help stopping people like Tim Beeson. I couldn't even take these screenshots to send them to her because I couldn't find even one person to show me how. And I tried doing what the internet said with the 2-button thing. It didn't work. Laura Nelson finally had to show me how to do this after I left Candace's house. There's a lot of this stuff. A whole lot. It says there's 288 videos or photos in this subfolder. So we can scroll down a little bit and see what else is in there. If it'll allow it. Those are the messages between myself and Tim BEESON. He just kept it up. If we get to the very beginning of it, you remember he was talking about being a blacksmith? Well, these are all pictures of, well, let's show this one. You might remember there's a woman from my story named Joanna Taylor Smith. She was friends with Maddie Boa and Derek Parrish. The reason that Maddie Boa, Natalie Bollinger, and Alicia Bollinger, as well as Joanna Taylor Smith here, the reason they all knew me is through a woman named, God, what was her name? It was Derek Parrish's mom. Derek Parrish was 17, and I was friends with his mom. But we were out in public. It's not like we were ever hanging out together, and it's certainly not like we were hanging out together in a house. We were in a public park, and as Officer Ramos said, they have as much of a right to be there as you do. But this is what I made. Joanna Taylor Smith wanted and of course I'm messaging her about my panic attack still. At that point I was in Inglewood. I was trying to get this hammer that she had ordered. She wanted the hammer, so I made her a hammer. That's right, I made this. I fashioned it out of these here iron bars. I had several of them in the works. It starts off as this bar of iron here that's got a rod on the end of it. And then you leave the rod on and you start hammering it out into the shape that you want. You can break the rod off eventually. This right here is the closest to finished. This is in my little metal heater that I had. God, not crucible. Sorry, my mind is not on the technical stuff at the moment for blacksmithing. It's mostly on the situation of showing the evidence. So, because they were young and wanted to hang out with Derek, well, I knew of them. I just didn't know their names. I knew that they existed. I just didn't know their names. And then, of course, there's the messages between Natalie and Tim, and we already got to see that part. You know, he just wouldn't knock his crap off. What I asked Natalie Bollinger for is to call off the dogs. This also shows that I was in downtown Denver at the time. See this right here? Like I said, I can look at the videos, look at the pictures, and be able to tell where I was at.